Very windy today. It's the second weekend of September. I haven't been out the bike since mid-August. But I'm not going to run today. The roads are much quieter now, even on the weekend. And it's not exactly chilly, but it's after a rather hot summer by and large. We're down to more sort of normal temperatures, and I wouldn't say it's easy to get caught out, but you have to just have a think about what you're going to wear. So I've got a sweatshirt on under my waxy jacket, and it seems to be okay. I feel quite comfortable. Not too warm, not cool. So the good thing is that's got an extra layer on your arm, because I find that like t-shirts, when they're alright in the middle of summer, your arms can soon feel a bit cold. You need one or even two layers on quite soon. I'm not really quite sure where I'm heading, but I may go towards Bransdale, or possibly another road above Helmsley, which goes up Helmsley Rig or something it's called. I haven't been there for ages. And I just wanted somewhere. I've got my big camera on my tank bag. I wanted to play with that, but I've already used it away from home a couple of times so far. People are so scummy, chucking out all these bloody bottles. That I was out just Thursday. I had my big camera, I was in the pickup. I went down to Pickering and Kirby Moorside that day as well. I came back this way and stopped on Blakey Bank, but I wasn't really pleased with the footage because, well, the main reason was I just rather rushed it. So it was a bit wobbly. And I hadn't sort of held each scene long enough to make it worthwhile edit. Not that there's much there to video anyway, but I just wanted to try it. And I was generally pleased with the footage, but I didn't want to do anything with it otherwise. Big branch falling off there, they look quite fresh as well. But the oak trees are a bit like this, so just drop these big branches off everyone at home today. I think it's been a bad year for it. I don't really know why, because you might have thought with it being hot and dry, there wouldn't be such heavy foliage. This bike is so quiet that people don't know you're coming. Walnut tree. It has no walnuts on it. There's a house there. There were originally council houses when we lived here. They'd just been built. That'd be like 1968 or something. And it's just been sold. For Huttonley Hall, it was quite affordable. It hasn't been on the market long. Something like 280, but it's only a semi-detached. However, it was quite nice. A lot spent on it. It's like, you know, I wouldn't say we look down on council houses, but you know, they were never supposed to be especially fancy. But it's surprising what people have done with them when they've been sold off, and then, you know, they've spent a lot of money. I think they were well enough built, you know, they're up to the standards of the day, probably better in some ways than the old stuff. probably didn't have insulation originally, they'd have cavity wall. I say I was only down here on Thursday anyway. But I didn't come quite this way, I kept down Rosedale. Quieter than normal, quieter than it's been for a while. So this is the main Scarborough Road. It's not too busy at all. Sunday afternoon. Fine Sunday at that. I'll get some petrol along here. It seems quiet, but there will be a bit of a rush later on. I think it's 31.9. Something about Helmsley, I dislike it, and it's not that I've got been fined or anything for going too fast or parking, but it's sort of money grabby place where you can't bloody stop without, you aren't even allowed to stop now with a bike without paying to park, although you can get around it by parking in a side street. It's ridiculous. I just need to start thinking where I'm going up. I don't know where this little road is, but I've done it before. There's a road on the... I think you go round behind the church, so as if you're going to Hillsdale. Not up between... there. You probably can go through that one. That's the sort of snickety thing. There's a lot of posh shops. You go around the... See this turning here? Pretty sure this is it. Look at that fat person. Jesus. This is correct. I remember this part. Those houses there are new now then. Oh, this is... That's right. Now I know where I am. It's just a bit confusing through there because Baxton's. It says Baxton's Road. There's a farm up here called Baxton's Grange or something like that. And then I'm not sure it's even Baxton's Rig, but it's all quite Helmsley Pool. Oh, that'll be the outdoor swimming pool. They have an outdoor pool that's just heated. It's only open in the summer. Because I must admit, see, I've thought of coming up here with my drone at time too. If you get that there by there, there's even a seat. Another seat. It's actually quite a climb. It's quite a steep little hill, isn't it? Now I'm coming back down this way because you can't. There isn't a through road, so I won't worry too much about what you can see the other way. It's only the second week of September, but all the harvesting down here at least was done weeks ago really. Everything's finished, but they haven't sown anything. I thought they might have been sowing oilseed rape. The only thing which is left in the fields is patches of maize for pheasant cover presumably, or they may be going to cut it for like whole crop silage, but they're only really small plots, aren't they? So there's something else there. Oh, they've got a stupid amount of pheasants. Why they want to be on the road is beyond me. Why don't they go in the field where there's all the bits of spilled grain and seeds, weed seeds? It's a pretty little house, isn't it? Dalton. There's more sheep that they've had the lamps take off. Cattle there. Some big farm machinery, Christmas trees. Bales of straw, highly valuable this year. The thing is, it was highly valuable, but everyone thought, oh, straw's going to be worth a fortune, and they baled it all. Most years, quite a bit gets chopped and spread and things nowadays. And apparently it's the price has dropped quite a bit there, which would suit me because I still haven't bought any, but I don't necessarily need any. These trees are nice, aren't they? Where can we just stop? Let's see what we can see here. So I've come up to I believe this farm is called Baxton's Grange. I don't know if this is Baxton's Rig, but I think it's nice up here, and I always think how nice these trees must look with snow on them. But I've got my little microphone. I wanted to try it out, but it's so windy, even with the muff thing on, which is a bit of a cheap nasty one. I don't think it's going to be any good, this audio, we shall see. So we'll concentrate on getting steady shots, and I might have to do a voiceover. Harebells still flowering. The thing is, this road doesn't really go anywhere, it's a dead end, so you will get the occasional car, and there are quite a few walkers and cyclists, but you can stand in the middle of the road with impunity, at least on a weekend. This is the other way. I'm just wondering about doing a time lapse. Take some holding still. The clouds are going quite fast, you see, you work quite well. Get away from the road, but I mean the road makes nice leading lines. Nice leading lines obviously, but there are other things like this tree. I'm having to shield the microphone. It's really blowing. Dead tree there. I might just take a few stills of that. I'm really not. I almost brought my tripod, which I don't normally use, but there are advantages, especially when it's windy and you can hardly sort of keep still. These bales caught my eye because I quite like particularly the clouds behind. You have to be rather careful you don't get your shadow in the front. But there isn't very many. I'm struggling a bit to make a composition of the bales. But that's kind of more or less what I've done. I've got a couple of stills of that. I am just tempted to run a time lapse with this sky racing by. Behind those trees maybe. Thinking something like that. Obviously the fence in the foreground is a bit ugly, but at the same time you've got something that the clouds are going past, so we'll just try that on SQ setting. I've done my time lapse. I had to just readjust the position because the post I was resting on was moving in the wind. But someone said the best thing about this, doing time lapse, is that you just get 5 minutes to sort of sit and look at the scenery, because you only need 5 minutes to get, say, a 10-second clip or thereabouts. And you spend time, you notice little things you hadn't seen before. This one caught my eye, which is split and leaned over, but it hasn't really fallen. It isn't raining on another tree. It would have been nice really if they'd had some more young ones planted here, do a little sort of little squares or circles, or get some new ones to block the wind a bit. And that's quite a nice one. Character tree with the branches reaching right down to the ground. But I have to say, it's not easy to make a nice photo here. There are little sort of compositions. It's just a bit of a jumble, and I do like that one. That's quite nice, where you can see through there. I might take a shot of that. See that? It wants slightly sort of underexposing because it's rather bright beyond, and also it seems to work better if you zoom in more and foreshortens it and just reduces the clutter on the side, because there's like dead branches and stumps and things if you come back out like that. I mean, it's still quite a nice scene, but there's just too much there, isn't there? Right, I think we'll move on. We'll jump back on the bike and go a bit further. Something I've noticed which is really annoying is that when you turn the camera off, the sound levels revert to default. So, and I've got this little lapel mic on, it wants to run about 12. So it keeps jumping back to 24 or whatever. So you have to remember to switch it each time. So there's my little bike, which I'll probably include some helmet cam footage. I fitted this small tank bag, which just takes this camera beautifully. I can take my drone as well, but not both together. And the little brown thing on the front, I can put a security chain in there, but actually at the moment I've got a puncture kit and just a padlock which will go through the discs. Right, we're back on the helmet cam, and yeah, it's a rather autumnal feeling day, but it's not cold, it's mild, you know. But you sort of want a coat. It's not a t-shirt day. A coat, or I've got a sweatshirt on. It's funny really going out on your bike. I mean, obviously you potentially you can go faster because you can overtake things, and it's more economical in fuel wise, although running a second vehicle to do about an extra 10 miles to the gallon or whatever isn't really logical. It's fun to ride and you feel more sort of part of the environment, if you like, even though you've got the motor noise, because you can really smell things and hear things to some extent better. But when you get to anywhere, you sort of jump out of the car. You have this business of taking gloves and things off. You don't necessarily have to take your helmet off every time. I don't. When I buy petrol, I hardly ever take my helmet off. But if you're stopping for more than a minute, you usually do. And by the time you've done all that stuff, you haven't really saved a whole lot of time. That's beside the point though, because I think you tend to go to places like this where you wouldn't really bother. You just simply wouldn't do it if you had the pickup or something, even just a small car. But this is a lovely road up here. There's a hare. The last time I came up here, this field here was barley, where these sheep are now. You had winter barley in there. It's like a piece of reclaimed moor, but I guess it's been there reclaimed since the 70s. But it's not very good land. Like below those trees, you're soon onto like the limestone. Over here, you're not. Maybe a little bit in betweeny. Yeah, these two trees I photographed those probably about 2005, and I don't think they've hardly grown since. Anyway, you come right up here, and I believe it's called Helmsley Bank. It's as simple as that. And quite a good view. It's not like stunning. It's not like a real classic view. I can't see there being anyone else there because I haven't seen another vehicle for a while. Or maybe one did go up. But there is a farm up here, if I recall correctly. You go down the dip and there's one or even two farms, and you can go through to another through the forestry. You can go through to the main road, but it's often closed off. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to even do it. Even if I had the trail bike, I wouldn't necessarily try to do it. There was a car there, you see. This is the spot. See, if you think it's not obvious, but if you carry on down there, you can go up to a farm further over. But I don't really want to do that. Well, I might go down. But, so this is the viewpoint, but it's been rather, I wouldn't say spoiled by the trees, but hidden by the trees. It's quite nice the other way, looking down. You have the benches looking across, and the trees are hiding it. But if you've got a lot of dog walkers come up here, then it'd be a good drone location, wouldn't it, when it's not windy? Probably a good dogging site as well, for all I know. But yeah, there's a farm up there beyond those trees. That's access from the Bransdale Road. Well, I think I don't really want to stop here. I'll just go down to these trees and see if anything takes my eye. If you drop down. To be honest, when I last came here, it was, I'm not sure it was December, but it was winter or early autumn, and it was awful wet and slimy down here because it is council road, but obviously the minimal maintenance. Well, they've opened it out quite a bit. There's lots of trees being taken out. That's quite interesting. You see, it's still kind of wet, and if you came in the winter I think it's often icy when there's no ice anywhere else because it retains it down this north facing slope. I think I kind of need to get them all in it. Very nice. I just want to... It's really easy to get your blooming shadow in. I don't want the road in the shot, really. Because obviously I've gone trekking into the depths of the forest. Very nice. I'll take it a little bit wider because I could always crop in, and that's quite a nice view down there. These are really just like stock photo views. Zoom in a bit on that one. Try that one too. I don't like that clutter of the posts there though. So I think we're doing what we can up this road, so we'll go back. See what we can actually do in and around the town itself. Now it's a bit later, it's what, 6 o'clock. So most of the tourist shops and that will be closing and it's much quieter. But we've still got quite nice light. This is a real wow view, isn't it, down this way? Sometime in the winter I might come back up here with my trailer bike and see if I can go through that forest track. I have done it before, but that would be a few years ago. They seem to be a bit more sort of pokey about you going anywhere in and out. It's ridiculous really, but obviously they don't want dozens of things going through. Yeah, it's quite a good view of the castle there though. It's not a particularly good view, but it's quite nice how you can see it sticking up. I don't know if I could do anything with it. That shot. We'll get a bit closer yet, but we're losing the bottom part quite soon. Let's see what we can do from this little spot here. I could possibly go through that field gate, I don't know. Maze. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not quite there, is it really? It's nice how you can see that sort of valley behind. Well, that's really where you go up to the big house. It's up that dip. It's actually quite a way over it, maybe even a mile or two. I'll go over a mile, I would think, up the road anyway. Well, that's quite good, but again, you're losing it at the bottom due to the trees. See, there's a burial ground there, but the church is further down. Is that a different church? If you go left there, or straight on as you come in, it just takes you back around the estate, the houses. It's a lot nicer little town when it's less busy. I haven't really got time to... That was actually Mr. George Agar in that van. I haven't really got time to go up Ransdale. I might possibly go back home a slightly different route